Extreme Anime Radio.
Greetings, everybody, from the greatest city in the world, broadcasting to fans of anime and Japanese culture all around the world. It is the one and only Extreme Anime Radio Podcast, Season 6, Episode 2. I think I got the numbering correct. I'm JR, and he is Nef Canuck. Hello, sir. How you doing?
Good evening, sir. You're the only reason I'm not in front of the TV right now, nervously pacing, as the Maple Leafs do whatever it is they're doing, which is supposedly playing hockey, but not doing it very well.
Oh, no. You're worried, are you?
Let's just say I'm not quite at the pitchforks and flaming torches yet, but I will say that, my cane is getting sharpened and, there may be some random stabbing sooner than later.
Well, if you want my candy cane-shaped cane, that's at your disposal too, I guess.
Well, there's nothing sweet about the way they're playing right now, so I wouldn't give them that pleasure.
But we have a lot going on tonight, including a special announcement we have coming up at some point during the podcast. So be sure to stick around for that special announcement. Once again, we welcome all of our Twitch viewers. We welcome all of our podcast listeners. So we'll just flip things around and tell you how you can listen and watch to us. If you are, listening to us and watching us. That's what I wanted to say.
You had a long day, JR?
Yes, I have. A long week, for that matter.
I had one too.
So if you're watching us on Twitch, be sure to check out the audio version of the XAR podcast by going to anchor.fm/anime radio. You can also listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or whatever location you get your podcasts. Just search for Extreme Anime Radio Podcast. They are usually available at a minimum 24 hours after we air our live show, and that's because of the Twitch law, if you want to call it that way. And if you're listening to us, twitch.tv/Extreme Anime Radio for our podcasts, live and in person, and any other streams that we may do. You were going to say something, Neff?
No, I was just making sure, because it's like my watch, ever since the last update, one of the weather apps I use has been randomly starting to spew the weather without me prompting it. And the problem is I have this particular app set to very crude mode. So it's like very bad timing sometimes when it decides to randomly start saying the weather in its, unique snarky manner.
Oh, would that be the Carrot app?
Indeed, with the personality set to overkill.
Oh, no. I think I just have, sounds like JR's Alexa. No, I have Carrot on my Apple TV. I haven't used it in a long time, though, but I don't know if you can actually go in and change modes on it.
I think that might be part of the subscription services. Now, Carrot app is the one app I will pay for because, again, one, I like comedic, snark when I get my weather forecasts. And two, you actually get some neat things. Some of which will make you very paranoid, but very neat things, including hurricane trackers.
Oh, no.
Now, I don't live in a part of the country where, hurricanes are a thing.
Right.
Maybe the remnants of them, but
Yeah.
not the actual hurricane. But I see, the hurricane season spin up, and I see hurricane day 1, day 2, and I'm seeing like 2 or 3 in a 2 to 3 day period, and I'm like going, oh yeah, that's why I'd never want to go down to Florida. Thank you very much, unless I'm, pretty much in a bunker.
Not this time of the year, especially.
No.
But, well, let's see, Neff. We've got a lot going on, as I said. Let's talk about anime news. Neff, we have to find a location and source for anime news that, is fair and balanced and, unbiased. And given the news we heard yesterday, the possibility of that is going downhill.
Well, as I've said to you when I originally gave you this news, I said, look, the problem is I've heard this song and dance before. Nothing is going to change. We will remain independent, blah-bitty, blah-bitty, blah. And for the first little while, nothing does change. But then something changes. Then a little something else. By the time you realize this isn't what I originally signed up for, say a year ago, whatever, it's too late. The frog is boiled, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. So we're talking about yesterday's news coming out from Anime News Network that they have been purchased in the majority by a brand new subsidiary of Kadokawa Corporation. We've spoken about Kadokawa on the podcast last episode, I think. Remember that Olympic scandal, Neff?
To say, and the funny thing is, if you go onto the Anime News Network forums, a couple people mentioned those particular things, saying, so does that mean you won't be displaying things about this or this, which are links to those very stories that we talked about last time we were on the air together? I'm just going, yep, here we go.
And
They tried to say, oh no, don't worry, we'll report, and I'm going, baloney, sandwich.
Mm-hmm. There's a little tie-in between that and something else I want to talk about later, but yes, for those of you who didn't tune in and heard us talk about the Olympic scandal, there's a big bribery scandal going on right now in Japan related to somebody who was formerly on the organizing committee for the Olympics and Paralympics in Tokyo, and the Kadokawa chairman, I believe, it was either him or the company, gave this person money to get favorable contracts, and Kadokawa was eventually named an official Olympic sponsor. The president of the company, who also happens to be the son of the founder, or one of the sons of the founder, was arrested and charged.
Yes, wasn't he the one that was charged like 3 separate times too?
Oh, not the Kadokawa person, no.
Okay.
The person from the organizing committee has had 4 arrest warrants served on him now.
Is he going for a baker's dozen by chance?
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't realize, the reference baker's dozens mean 13.
Yeah. But no. So now, where are we going to get our anime news, Neff?
I don't know yet. I mean, Crunchyroll has their news service, but of course they're about as unbiased as, I don't know, Fox News. Excuse me. I seem to be allergic to something. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. But no, it's funny because I read the story about Anime News Network on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, and again, it's more like, okay. You see, there are some people, again, in the forums on Anime News Network who are saying vertical integration isn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
I point you to Canada. I point you to our broadcast industry, and I go, bologna sandwich. Because from the top at Bell Media down to the Bell Media radio station.
Mm-hmm.
There's an expression, and I'm cleaning it up for this broadcast. Poop flows downhill.
Wow.
I mean, let me put it this way. Bell Media is so, conglomerated that basically they hold a yearly Bell Let's Talk Day in support of mental health.
Mm.
And shortly thereafter, almost yearly now, have instituted mass firings and layoffs right after this.
What timing?
It's just going, Bell, let's talk about layoffs.
What seems to be happening now in tweet land, you got to be thrilled with this, the finalization of the takeover at Twitter and all the mess that's coming through it.
Well, on Twitter, having been brigaded off by a bunch of people who I will not dignify with any commentary to them, I have watched Elon Musk as he has devolved into some Dollar Tree version of Lex Luthor. Okay? I mean, at this point, he has now purchased Twitter and is in the process of literally destroying it from inside. He couldn't do it from the outside. But once he bought the damn thing at gunpoint, because he tried to back out of the deal, remember, he is now instituting such brilliant ideas as, if you want your blue check mark, it's $8 a month.
And the reports it was originally going to be 20.
And you'll see less ads. I'm sorry, but if I'm paying you, you ain't serving me ads. No way, no how, no sir.
I have an ad blocker.
Now, does that work on, your iPhone? The answer's no.
No. Call it the suggesting for news outlets, My Anime List or Anime Planet. I've heard of Anime Planet.
We shall have to experiment, I think, because now it's a question of who do you trust?
Exactly. So this whole takeover and influence, as we call it, kind of goes into the other thing that I wanted to talk about. I haven't caught up a lot on anime lately because, well, something happened in the BBC that somebody pointed me to. And yes, if you are a fan of Doctor Who, I think you are in Cloud 9 right now. Have you heard about that, Neff?
Okay, I've been hearing bits and pieces about it, but I'm more scared watching the British political system implode than what's happening in the Doctor Who universe, I must admit. Because they're going through prime ministers like I go through socks. Daily. And with relish.
Well, no, I'll talk about that in a moment. But yes, the news is that, the latest season of Doctor Who is finished. And yes, they were supposed to introduce the Rwandan Scottish actor, I believe his name is Ncuti Gatwa, as the new Doctor. But that didn't happen just yet. Instead, we saw, and, you might know this now if you've seen the end of Doctor Who. If not, plug your ears for about 10 seconds. Jodie Whittaker regenerated into David Tennant. So now we have a Doctor making a comeback for a few episodes, apparently sometime next year.
Okay, now you say regenerated, but wait a minute here. This is a first for Doctor Who because the Doctor has never turned back the clock, so to speak, in this manner.
I thought I read maybe it might have happened once or twice back in the old days.
Now, I'm trying to remember. I'm remembering back as far as I can. I don't recall, but again, that's a long time ago, so, the old cassava melon doesn't remember everything it should.
Right.
Like what I had for dinner tonight, but that's another story.
But that, I was so happy to see that, then I decided, why don't I just go back to watching Doctor Who? I was stuck in Season 5, Matt Smith, which I just wrapped up a few days ago. I sort of speed watched through a lot of the 5th season following one of these blogs that gives you suggestions of which Doctor Who episodes since Chris Eccleston's time are essential viewing, which ones are like okay, and which ones you can just completely skip. So I'm following that list to try to catch up a little bit. And so I got to the end of season 5. Matt Smith continues as the Doctor. We know he'll eventually, his role eventually be taken over by, oh man, the guy's name escapes me. I'm talking about Doctor Who. I don't know who he regenerates to. Please help me out.
Unfortunately, I can't. But now I'm going to ask a question because I understood that.
Okay,
BBC
Peter
has
Capaldi.
now-
It's Peter Capaldi.
Oh, okay. I was going to say because now I understood that the rights to Doctor Who have been sold off by BBC, and now it's going to move over to Disney Plus.
That's part of it. Yes. So BBC. One of the quirks about Doctor Who is that it's been funded by the BBC for their famously tight budgets. So that's why, and I guess to me that's part of the nostalgia of the whole thing. But now, in addition to Disney Plus deal being announced, that only applies outside the UK and I think Ireland, where it will still be on the BBC. But
Yeah.
the day after that was announced, it was confirmed, I believe, that Disney Plus will be lending their dollars to the Doctor Who production budget.
Money from the mouse always comes with a string.
Mm-hmm. So Kadokawa not having a say in Anime News Network affairs. Disney Plus not having a say in Doctor Who affairs. I have a funny feeling, and we can make a bet right now that Walt Disney World will probably have a Doctor Who place in about 10 years.
I'm going to take the under on that, to be honest.
Oh, really?
I put it at 5. There'll be a TARDIS at Magic Kingdom before you know it.
Somebody's redeemed raspberries, so we're going to put raspberries up for 10 minutes on the video stream. One way is you can redeem your points here on Twitch. Once again, twitch.tv/Extreme Anime Radio. But no, I'm very interested to see how this all evolves. And the fact that now Disney is going to have a hand, literally, into this production budget, we're probably going to see Doctor Who like we've never seen it before.
K9 will be replaced by Pluto.
Oh, boy. From the Sarah Jane Adventures, or the Sarah Jane Chronicles. What was it called?
No, I was referring to Pluto as in, you know...
Oh, I know. I know that. K9 was from Sarah Jane.
Yes, very, very much so. And the Daleks? Not sure who they'd be replaced by. Although, wait a minute. Now I'm thinking about this. The mouse also owns Sesame Street. Oscar the Grouch in a garbage can that rolls.
What? Oh,
well,
boy.
they are lending money, so they can lend ideas as well.
This sounds like something for Red Nose Day or something, right?
Like I said, when it comes to the mouse, I don't put anything past them anymore. I really don't.
Oh, what's his name? Flax said Stormtroopers. Well, I already made the comparison the other day to Emma Castiel, one of the cosplayers of Sarah, who's also a big Star Wars fan. Lightsabers versus Doctor Who.
Lightsaber versus a sonic screwdriver. Place your bets, folks.
And, of course, Emma said, nobody will beat the lightsaber.
Lightsaber, no. Stormtrooper gun. I don't even think it would take, a sonic screwdriver. It would just take Doctor Who's withering stare.
But there's something we could talk. Oh, we have. Why are you popping up on my screen? You have to update your software. No, I don't.
updates.
Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't come up on the stream. I only have my voice and your voice, thanks to the wonderful upgrades from OBS, which are very nice now.
Well, it's nice to see updates that actually, perform as advertised and don't do silly things.
Mm-hmm.
Like my car this afternoon trying to update the system software. And I thought Windows 10 and 11 had absolutely atrocious update routines. No. When you are trying to update the car's in-car infotainment system, bring a lunch, bring booze, and prepare to want to throw things. I nearly did.
Oh no. Yeah, I was updating my phone actually, and Neff's recommendation, the 15.7.1. I'm still a little skeptical about iOS 16, but I've heard that the latest iteration of 16 is not as bad compared to the launch release. Neff, can you vouch for that?
I will say this, running 16.1 on mine, and as far as I can tell, most of the obvious bugs that were there when 16.0 was launched are gone. Now, there might be some insidious bugs.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't found them yet, but I generally don't try to break, my phone because I need my phone.
Right. Wow. I'm looking also at the news today about the wonderful news with our interest rates and the widening gap between this and this, or depending on what border you're in, this.
You still had a couple of those floating around? Oh, okay. There
Apparently.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, now that the U.S. Federal Reserve has done what they've done, we'll be in lockstep, and more of the people who are on variable mortgages here will now be going...
Yeah. Cue death.
At least of their wallets.
Yeah. Yes, Japan will maintain its ultra low policy on that. And as we mentioned before, it looks like it will remain that way at least until the Bank of Japan has a new governor, which is supposed to happen this coming spring.
If things get much worse, I think there'll be an early springtime for the governor, if you know what I mean. Because he'll get told, either you do this or go walk among the cherry blossoms.
But no, it's very interesting because I'm seeing a lot more videos now popping up on my timeline about things to do in Japan, travel trips in Japan, and also travel challenges too. So there's this one guy, I forget who it is, but he has a job to take these long distance trains across Japan in the course of a day. He has to get from point A to point B. He doesn't take the bullet train or anything, but his challenge is that besides the train fare, in the course of the entire day, for whatever he needs to survive for the day, he can only spend a maximum of 1,000 yen, or $10.
Okay, so aside... I mean, okay, if you don't eat anything and you just rely on liquids, you could do it, I suppose, but it wouldn't be very pleasant.
No. The guy that I see mostly relies on, number one, vending machines for drinks. He can find, they're still kind of cheap there, 100 yen and change. And convenience store foods. He takes the convenience store food in the, towards the end of the day when they start to discount them.
Ooh, the stuff that's left over.
And then also, you see him going at the major stations. He doesn't have to leave the ticket gates. Inside the stations, he can go to these cheap ramen joints where you just, buy your ticket and hand them over, and you can have a cheap bowl of ramen for 300 or 400 yen.
Well, I mean, I guess you could do that, but I'm just wondering what your stomach must be like at the end of a day like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
But, no, I just wanted to bring that up real quick while we're in the conversation of currency, if you will. What other things are you watching in anime land, Neff?
Well, I started the second season of Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out, the English dub, and I remember why the show both charms me and infuriates me.
Mm-hmm.
Charms me because the character chemistry is quite interesting, and you have these characters who are absolutely insane, but they have this thin veneer of civility where they're like fine until their little quirks go off. One of them being the cafe daughter's owner, who has a thing for cosplay. But not cosplaying herself. No. She wants to watch other people cosplay. And she has some rather extreme ideas, which if you watch the first episode of Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out, second season, you'll see them.
Oh, no.
It's nothing bad. Well, nothing completely R-rated, but at least one of them, you're just going, yeah. And when your dad comes back and realizes what you've done, dun, 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 dun. And then what infuriates me, Uzaki-chan herself, because she, harasses / teases / badgers, her senpai to the point where it's like, if I was senpai, I'd have booked it long ago because it's like, no, this is abuse. This is just abuse. I'm out of here.
No, I have to once I've gone over my Doctor Who high, if you will. I have to go back and I want to restart when we watched the first episode of While You Were Here, A Couple of Cuckoos.
Oh yes, I've been meaning to get back to that as well. The problem with me is it's like, the last few days, I've been coming home from work, and it's been like, okay, I can get in the door. Okay, I can eat something. Okay, I have no more brain left. It's just like, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, weekend. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. Weekend. Yeah, that's right. Oh, and that's because we get an extra hour to play with, too.
Oh, yes. That was something I was going to mention at the end of the podcast. It's time for us to go back to standard time.
I will be glad when Ontario, Quebec, and New York State finally say, you know what? Enough of this garbage. One to rule us all, not this flip-flopping.
Right.
I mean, I only have one clock left in my house or that's around me that I actually have to do something with. And that's my microwave. Everything else is basically, does it itself. So it's not, the big production it used to be. But it's still annoying because it's like, oh, yeah, that's right. The time change. Especially when you lose the hour. That's what really hits. When you lose that hour of sleep, you're just going, no wonder I feel draggy 2 days later.
That's something I might, that's a question I might ask our guests when they come on here in a few minutes. Shh. But, yes, so that will start, and this was the time of the year we go into the holidays. Now let's talk about the holidays. The pumpkin has been smashed, etc., etc.
Okay. I'm going to rant here, so bear with me.
Okay. I'll drink.
Okay. November 1st rolls around. I'm in the car listening to satellite radio streaming. And what do I hear? Our holiday channels are back.
Oh, they're back already as of now?
You couldn't even wait until after Remembrance Day / Veterans Day.
Wow.
No. You have to drop it all on us November 1.
I'm going to look this up.
Well, I can tell you it's true because, like I said, SiriusXM is pumping it while I'm listening to my SiriusXM NHL radio in the morning. People ask me, why are you paying for satellite radio when you can listen to, over the air, like, standard radio? I'm like, right. And be inundated with gambling ads. I mean, it's getting to the point with the gambling ads, especially with the local hockey broadcasts, where it's basically a giant gambling ad for 3 hours interrupted by, 30 seconds of hockey. Mm-hmm. And I'm really getting to the point where it's like, wow. I'd rather go down the hockey game because at least there I'm not inundated with gambling ads. There's actually action on the ice I can watch.
Yeah, they started. They started the holiday channels right away. They waited a few days through November, I think, the last couple of years. But no, they're right out of the starting gate, if you will.
Yeah, like I said, I'm one of those people who it has to be after Remembrance Day or Veterans Day. It's just, I just kind of have that thing. I mean, yeah, some people are like, come on, but it's like, it's one of those,
Ooh, Liz saying they've added the fireplace with Christmas music TV channels already. Well, there you go.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to check something right now.
Uh-oh.
Because I do have access to my TV channels on my phone.
Okay.
I'm just curious to see if the local cable broadcaster that I use has done that.
Oh, no.
I'm just curious enough to check. Okay, now the problem is they've broken the fireplace. Well, it does not appear as though they have done it yet. Mm-hmm. But that could be simply a matter of them, being who they are and not, being on top of things. Mm-hmm. So, but it's like, You'll
have to report next time we do the podcast, whenever that happens.
Yes, I will, and I'll just be going, sigh.
Silent night.
Oh.
Well, I had to. I'm sorry.
That was bad. Much like the beating the Bills are going to lay on the Jets, I think this week is their game. So it's like, yeah, you have your fake New York team. Here comes the real team of New York State to, make your life absolutely freaking miserable. Just
Thank
like
you,
made, What the?
That was the lol LUL emote.
Okay. I'm looking at that and I'm going, that sort of looked like Aaron Rodgers after Sunday night's game.
Yeah, we could talk about Aaron Rodgers or we could talk about Tom Brady.
Well, Tom Brady basically, I think, has so much going on, quote unquote, off screen that it's actually affecting his performance on the field because when you have that much mental energy invested in other things, you don't have the mental energy to, do your actual job. Whereas Aaron Rodgers, he badmouths his own players as they're losing. I mean, he is at the stage of his career where he's like, I don't care. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say what I want. Yeah. And if you don't like it, well, sucks to be you.
How about, I'll mention this real quick. Carolina, Atlanta. Did you see the end to that one, Neff?
Unfortunately, I saw only bits and pieces because I was watching NFL Red Zone.
Uh-huh.
But what I saw, I'm going, huh? What? that makes no logical sense. What?
Yeah. So let's recap. I believe Carolina's down by 6 points. It's very late, very, very late in the fourth quarter. DJ Moore catches a big Hail Mary pass, scores into the end zone, touchdown. So now the game is tied, and Carolina can kick the extra point and take the lead. But the problem is, after DJ Moore scores a touchdown, he takes off his helmet and goes, yeah, we're coming back, or something like that. Shoot. Whistle goes, flag, unsportsmanlike conduct, because apparently while you are on the field of play, you're not allowed to remove your helmet because that's considered excessive celebration? Huh?
Much like goaltender interference in hockey, I have no freaking clue what excessive celebration means in the NFL anymore. I just don't know.
So they backed up the extra point attempt 15 yards. That attempt is missed. The game goes to overtime. In overtime, Carolina tries to kick a field goal to, I believe, at least take the lead because they had the first possession or something.
Yeah.
They kick it, and they miss again. So the Falcons kick it, and they win the game.
Yeah. Here's a lesson, boys and girls. You don't celebrate till the game's over. Now, quickly, speaking of game over, Monday night game was a complete, gong show as far as I was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And so as it ends up here, I'm preparing to have to watch, the local sports broadcast before going to bed.
Right.
No. They let the broadcast continue on the Peyton and Eli feed, which means we got to see Peyton and Eli in that Ghostbusters ripoff. That was the most entertaining thing I saw all night. And frankly, I'm watching Jerome Bennis do this, and I'm going, when they approached him to do this, he must have been like, "Oh yeah, this is going to be fun. I'm just going to go right along with this insanity." Because when they pull out an Ecto 1 on top of everything, that's an actual Ecto 1 that Peyton is driving.
Yeah.
I'm just going, yeah, you pull out all the stops for this one. Good on you.
Well, I saw the other day the New York Mets feed post a Ghostbusters photo with cropped heads of 4 of the Mets players. I just wanted to unsubscribe from the Mets feed at that point.
Okay. That's kind of right.
Yeah. Well, Halloween is done, folks. Go ahead and go to your local store and get your candy for 70% off or however marked down it is now.
I'm actually curious because I'm going to be going grocery shopping by Friday and see at my local market because the prices for the candy were bonkers. I wasn't going to pay it, but if it's down to at least semi-reasonable, I might be tempted, although I shouldn't. But if it's already gone or if all that's left is like the stuff that I wouldn't buy anyway, it's like, okay, no loss.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is now 40 past, so Neff, what I'm going to do is ask our special guest to join us in the channel. They should have permissions to join us in the channel through audio. So while this person joins us, I will ask you to go over the closing commentary.
If you have any questions, concerns, compliments, or complaints about this Twitch stream or any of our other broadcasts, drop us a line at extremeanimeradio@gmail.com or catch us on our social media channels. How you do that? Well, you go to linktree.com/anime radio. There you'll find links to our Facebook page, our Twitter account, our Instagram account, and our Discord server. And don't forget, you can check archived versions of this podcast at anchor.fm/anime radio and our YouTube channel.
And I should also point out that all of our podcasts now are going to YouTube as well, starting with this season. So be sure to check it out. We also have some content coming up. We're starting to put together Christmas holiday content with both of our mascots, Sarah and Yumemi. There's a wonderful piece of art that Felicia Margareta, one of our the artists that we always work with, she's working on that now. And also you will see Keshocho cosplay photo of Sarah from a while back to celebrate World Ballet Day, which is today, November the 2nd. So on this World Ballet Day, we thank all of the ballet dancers who have helped us with the cosplay of both Sarah and Yumemi, and of course the artists who put their unique interpretations as well. I believe our guest is now on the line, so would you all say hello to ShinigamiLiz. Hello, Liz.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
I am doing wonderful for various reasons.
Yes. And now we come to the special announcement and that is something that is going to come from you, Liz. So please tell everybody what that is.
Okay, a week ago on the 25th of October, my girlfriend proposed to me. So I'm now engaged.
Woo!
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm
How do you
very
feel?
excited.
It's wonderful, 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 and we wish you guys the very best. How do you feel right now, Liz, with that going on?
It's definitely wow, I don't even know how to describe it. It's definitely has me kind of thrown for a loop in a way because I mean we'd talked about it before, but I wasn't expecting it. Obviously, you never expect it to happen the day it does, but
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely it's an amazing feeling. It's way up in the clouds and
Mm-hmm.
just just feel terrific.
It's wonderful, wonderful, and I know that now your fiance has also tuned into our streams from time to time, and so both of you, we sent our heartfelt congratulations. And Neff, what would you like to add?
Well, I hope that you two have a wonderful life together, and we'll be paying close attention as things move along for you.
Thank you so much, guys.
And Liz, a very big part of our XAR family. She'll be joining us, as we finish the podcast to do Jackbox. So that's the plan when we finish here in a few minutes. With everything going on in your life, Liz, right now, what's the situation these days in your neck of the woods? What have you been up to?
I am actually working on the most complex blanket I have done to date, which is you guys have seen pictures of it. Everybody else I don't think has. But it's the Van Gogh Starry Night, that famous painting. It's going to be a throw blanket for my sister for Christmas.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've seen the progress that you've posted to us and wherever you else have posted. It's coming along amazing, and I know that you always enjoy doing this very complex projects, be it like paintings like you're doing right now, and also photograph crochet that I've seen you do amazing work on.
Yeah, it's what I specialize in, and I love it. It's so much more interesting to do than just like the typical single stitch over and over and over again to make a giant blanket.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Van Gogh has been more in our lives these days with all these interactive exhibits, including the one that Bree and I saw not too long ago. And I highly recommend it, even though it can be overpriced. You do get a few goodies with like the premium tickets or whatnot, but you go in and it's a wonderful experience. So we see Van Gogh a lot lately. In fact, I told Liz, I think, that there is a Doctor Who episode with Van Gogh that I would highly recommend. Even you don't even have to watch it in sequence. It's very, very touching.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. It sounds very cool.
Right. It's in the fifth season, I believe. That's the one that I just finished. Yes. It's another question I wanted to ask you, Liz. Was we were talking about time zones, and that's really come into play in your neck of the woods. How do you feel about the time changes and everything?
Indiana went forever without having that, and it's here in the last 15 years maybe that they've initiated that.
Mm-hmm.
I may be wrong on the scale, but it's reasonably fairly new,
Mm-hmm.
and I hate it. I mean, plain and simple, I despise the time changing.
Mm-hmm. How did the time changing affect you and everything?
Me, actually, not so much because all I do is crochet all day, so I don't set an alarm or anything. So it really, I just wake up when I wake up. And so it really doesn't have that much of an effect on me, but other than having to go through and set all the analog clocks.
Oh, that's got to be a pain.
Yeah, it's fun.
We have, my parents still have a VCR. And the VCR, which is now an hour off, because the VCR still thinks that the time change automatically happens at the end of October.
Yeah, when your government decided to make it earlier to save energy, I just about died laughing. I mean, okay, sure.
Wow. Well, something I guess we still have to get used to, because, well, we had talked in the past about them passing a law abolishing the time change, but apparently that has not gone through the rest of Congress, has it?
We see part of the problem is that the states have a say in it. Some states are like, we'll do it. Some states are like, no. And it's just like, can't you all just make up your minds?
Exactly.
But then I remember, you fought a civil war, so it's like,
We're gonna put it back to that, huh?
well, I can only say Canada, we don't do civil wars. We just do Toronto versus Montreal on Saturday nights. That's the closest we get to a civil war.
Oh man, no yards on you. But anywho, this is going to bring the podcast to a conclusion tonight. But again, Liz, a very important part of our XAR family. Congratulations to you and your new fiancé, and we hope for the very best for both of you.
Thank you so much. It means a lot
Of
coming
course.
from you guys because you have been a big part of my life for a long time. You guys are family.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'll have to come back to your neck of the woods one day and enjoy a night or two under the stars and in one of the most calmest places in the country, I'll tell you that much.
It is. That's a good description for it. Boring might be another description, but no.
Oh,
Well, to be fair,
really
I mean,
nice.
going from New York to your neck of the woods would definitely be calming.
yes. So with that, we will close out our podcast. Next week's schedule, once again, like this week, will be up in the air. We'll probably do a podcast next week, Wednesday. We might do another stream early in the week, late in the week. We have to decide that. It depends on what's going on. I do have a few long work days still ahead after the long work days that I just had, and also a few other things coming up as well. If you are in an area that is affected by the time change, set your clocks, you know the drill. And if you happen to live in the United States, November the 8th, Tuesday, is Election Day, so please make your vote count. I know some people who are doing early voting now, but be sure your voices are heard, especially in the times that we are in. Well, really, you should vote whenever the opportunity presents itself. So with that being said, we will see you guys next week for the podcast. For those of you watching, we will be back in a moment with Jackbox. But for Neff and for the bride-to-be Liz, I'm JR. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And remember,
Keep on looking out for the Extreme Mario Twitch streams, and don't forget our archive podcasts are at anchor.fm/anime radio or your favorite podcasting platform. Good night, everybody.
good night. We'll see you next time.